Hey traders, John Howell here. Bit of a market update today, and something that's happening obviously with gold and silver that I was actually talking about yesterday as well too, and something I've actually been mentioning for the last few, probably for the last week about the metal sector as well. So let's actually get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into the markets. I want to cover something that I did on my community tab, and I'm just going to share this with you here. And he was the thing that I put on my community tab on this YouTube. Obviously I'm on YouTube. I'm on the community tab here now, and I said, traders, this is the S&P 1 hour chart. This is the chart here. You can see that we're in a phase where the buyers are weak, and so I drew this chart here. Right, this was actually yesterday before the market opened. Right, we had a strong move down through here, and if I zoom in, you'll be able to see this a bit more. Right, so we had a strong move down and then a very weak pullback through here. So then I said, you can see that we're in the week, and if we do start to break down, then we could see a move down to 4100 level today, and that was obviously 12 hours ago. So you can see that this is what the chart actually looked like. Okay, so you can see what actually happened here. The 41 level was this down here around this major support level through here. If we go have a look at the S&P 500 chart now. This is the S&P 500 chart, right? This is actually what I was looking at here on the chart there, right? So I said, here we go. Here's that pullback, and if we start the breakdown, we could get a breakdown towards that 4100 level. And so this is the 4100 level down the bottom here. We actually didn't get there, but what we actually did do is we actually just ran straight down to the next support level. So my analysis of what I was reading through here was I was giving people basically a warning sign that intraday, this is actually not looking too good, and we could actually start to see a bit of a drop down. And as you can see, that this was that low through there, and that was that first level of support, and this is where it was, and then it actually dropped down towards there. So my analysis of looking at the market was absolutely spot on there. And now we're actually at this level of support through here, and we're bouncing through that. So looking at that now, if we go to that 15-minute chart now, you can see we're in a very, very, very strong downward movement now. We actually had this very sort of weak, really just a weak sort of a very weak pullback, right? We had this strong move down, and this is the way that I look at it, right? We had a strong move down, but see how that's actually strong move down. If we got something like that, then we'd have a strong buying leg as well. But you see how it's a very steep roller coaster, and then it's actually slowly going up, and then we actually had this again, right? So you'll notice these patterns in the markets had a strong move down, very weak move up, and then a strong move down again. Now we're getting a very weak pullback again. It doesn't mean we're definitely going to break down, but if we can start to break below here. Now this is the futures market I'm looking at, traders, because this is where I do my intraday trading for the futures markets. And so you can see here now that we're actually getting a bit of a pullback through here. And so if we do start to break down, which is a high probability we're going to, because we're on a very strong trend now on the shorter term time frames here, say 15-minute chart and hourly, we're getting a bit of a weak pullback through here. So we could actually see a more of a continuation, maybe moving in through the rest of the next couple of days, and then a break back down towards this sort of 4100 level, which is that major support level through there. So you can see here by looking at the futures market now that we actually got this major support level here, support, and we're actually right at that support level there. So if we can do a bit of a sideways range, a bit of a sideways phase, and then we break that, there's a high probability we're going to start to go down here. And what the market loves to do, and you've probably heard me talk about this before if you've been following me for quite some time, is that if we actually can spend a bit of time, just a bit of time just going sideways, right? Let the market rest for a bit, and then we break. That'd be really powerful. We're probably going to see, and if we can get something like this. Now this is an hourly chart, right? So that's only 3 hours from now, if the market can just do something like this and then continue down, we're going to have a high, a significant lower high, breaking down. Next major support levels down to here. So we're probably going to come down to here. Now there's two ways that I see this happening if we do get that scenario. And the reason why I'm talking about that, right, because traders, like, again, I'm a trader, right? I'm looking for these patterns so I can trade it. So you can see here, if we do get something like that, scenario number one is that we just have a bit of a free fall and we actually break and we flush that level there, and we do something like that. Yeah. Or the second scenario would be like, if it does do something like this and then we break, we may have like a little bit of a short-term retracement, and then it does something like that, and then we start to see the waterfall. So they're the two different scenarios that I see playing out. If we do get this scenario, right? For me, I'm all about what? I'm all about systems, exits, and system entry, exits. What is the system I'm trading? What's the pattern I'm looking for? What's the entry? What's the exit? And it's just I'm always looking for that, right? Now, so that's I was gonna say. Now that the thing is just looking at the market. I'm always trading the same pattern, right? It's always the same sort of thing. I'm always trading with the same sort of thing, right? And to me, I just love trading with strong momentum. Like for example, through here, right? Look at this here. Remember I said today when you get this, let me show you this here. Let me see if I can auto range this here. Let me go back to here for a minute. Remember I said before, traders, that, and this is actually a bit of a teaching lesson, right? Whenever we get a strong move in any direction, it's either up or down, and then suddenly the next leg, this is leg one, the next leg through here. Whenever we get that, whenever we get that combination of a strong leg, either up or down, in this case it's down, but then the next leg is very weak, we have a high probability of doing that. Remember I said before, when we're looking at that 15-minute chart, we have a strong selling leg down, but the next leg up was very, 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 very weak. We didn't actually get a very big, strong buying leg out of it. So it's very move down and then a very weak move up. That sells it's through here. That's showing the buyers are weak, right? There's not a lot of buyers in there compared to what? So compared to the selling leg. So there's a lot of sellers through here. So this is called strong sellers, weak buyers. So weak buyers, and generally when you get the strong sellers into weak buyers, you generally get strong sellers again, right? Strong sellers, weak buyers, strong sellers. But also the flip side is the flip side is the same as well too. We could also get a situation where we have strong buyers, but then we go into a very weak selling period, and then we start to go for a bit of a move again. Whenever we get strong buyers, so strong leg first, then weak leg second, generally equals this very first leg. After this has been done, we generally get this happening again. And this is a trade that I took back. When was it? It was on the 15, or was on maybe it was on the hourly chart. I'm pretty sure it was the hourly chart, wasn't it? Yeah, last week. Here it is here. So this is actually a trade that I took last week, just before the market closed, right? But it's all the same thing, right, traders? So, and this is where it's just amazing that the pattern, where you have a very strong buying leg up. So you have a very strong move up first. That's the one thing, right? We want to see strength in any direction, because if we don't, and they're just wishy-washy, there's really no dominance in either the selling or the buying. So we had a very strong buying leg. See this here? Look at this here. See how the selling leg through here was very, very, very weak. Then we got what? Then we got a very strong breakout candle, and then we had a very nice move run up to it through the rest of the day, and that was obviously into the weekend. Now that's obviously a simplified version, traders, of what I trade. If you'd like to learn more about that, then just go to Johns, JOHNS, johnsfreetraining.com, and I'll teach you more exactly about this pattern that I'm trading. But that's a simplified version of what I'm looking at, and it's more about also reading the market as well too, as I was doing as I did on that community tab as well too. So that's what I wanted to share with you on the futures markets there. And let's go have a look at, so let's actually just go look at the indices now. So I was just sharing with you the futures markets. Let's go look at the indices now. So the S&P 500 is towards its lows through here. We're getting one rejection, and you can see this level here has been quite a significant support, and then a lot of resistance through here. And so you can see a lot of support, and then a lot of resistance through here, and then now we're actually continuing down. So we actually could be getting ready, and it wouldn't surprise me now to start to see a bit more of a free fall in the markets. But it's definitely not as bad as what you think. Again, traders, one thing I've been calling for, which is that 4,000 level. So we're probably going to start to see a bit more of a free fall down towards that 4,000 level. Maybe towards we've got the rate announcement coming soon, so that's actually gonna be really interesting to see what happens through there. So we know the rates are going to start to rise, but there again, that's what I'm looking through there. So we can actually start to see now we've got the rejection. We can start to see a more of a move on the downside. Looking at the S&P 500, if we have a look at the Nasdaq is actually almost right at its level of support. This is that long level of support through there. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Nasdaq sort of reacts towards that level in the markets through there. And then we have the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is again making high, lower high. We got a complete rejection through here, and now we're just going sideways. So I wouldn't be too surprised tonight, traders, just by looking at this sort of situation through here, if we got something like that breaking down, and then we may get a bit of a move to the downside, and it's actually going to be really interesting. We may even get that. And if we do, we're probably going to head back down towards that 30,000 level on the Dow Jones. But it's probably just, again, it's just to me, all I see is have a very big move up, then a pullback, and then a continuation here. So maybe the selling hasn't actually stopped yet. I was talking about in yesterday's video, I was talking about the fear and greed index, and I was talking about how that I believe we're going to start to get down towards, we're likely to start to get down towards these low levels here in the markets. So this sort of 15 level through here, and again, we buy when there's maximum fear in the markets, and we sell when there's maximum greed in the markets, right? And so you can see here what's happening now. We're sort of just hovering around here. I believe we're likely to see a bit more selling, and that's going to get us back down to here to a very big capitulation type of a phase. And we're probably going to get that. We're probably going to have a couple of big down days in the markets, and a couple of big down days in the markets is probably going to give us a bit of a capitulation type days. It's going to freak people out. But as you can see, once we actually start to get this fear and greed index start to get down here over the next, say, week, we're very, 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 very close towards a bottom in the market. And we're talking about a significant major bottom in the markets. Once we do get this, once we finish this flush out, and it may take for the rest of March, which is the first quarter of this month, or this month, which is the first quarter of this year, then I see a major bottom, and then I see a very strong rally back up into all-time new high territory. So I still am a very, very big believer in the S&P 500, or in the indices in general. I still see this S&P 500 making a very, very strong move back up towards the all-time new highs in the markets this year. So that's what I'm looking at through there, across the S&P 500, across all that sort of stuff there. The one thing that I really want to talk to you about is also gold and silver. So we've got gold here pulling back right now. Remember I said before, traders, that when the market was going up through here and we started to get these spikes, I'm like, traders, don't, it's the wrong time to be looking at gold now, because it's already made a big move and we're hitting major resistance levels. And I said, I'm expecting some form of a pullback. And that's exactly what we're getting right now. We're getting a bit of a pullback through here. And so we could continue to get a bit more of a pullback out of gold. I don't believe this is just a pullback in a big bull market. I don't believe this is like, one and done type thing where it just blows up and then comes back down. And so you can see there's actually a lot of support levels around where it is now, and maybe even a bit lower. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing come down a bit more. We do have a 50% Fibonacci level. Where's the 50%'s around that level there? So I wouldn't be too surprised for this for gold to come back down towards the 1900 level, and then maybe a continuation. But once we do get that, we do get a nice little going through a nice pullback right now. Once we do get the continuation and then we break above this high here again, then it is off to the races. So don't be too again, just don't, if you are trading silver and gold, and it was actually silver as well too, right? Silver actually broke past that support level there, major support level. This is actually a false breakout to the upside now. As you can see, it actually broke down past this level through here. So that's actually a false breakout, which is actually not looking too good for the buyers there, I must say. So let me take that off the screen now. Again, just a very strong move up, and you can see, look at this here, and this is where one of the big things that I talk about all the time, and I mention to my private clients, is that you never jump in on something after it's already made a move, right? And that's actually what I talked about with gold as well too. Because if something's making a move here, look at this here, move here, move here, move here, and then we had a big move up. What was this see this move here after it's been going up? What is that? That's the sucker rally, right? And now we're getting the pullback out of it. But I don't believe this pullback is going to be deep in the markets through there. Let's have a look at the GDX as well too. GDX, again, same sort of thing. We're getting a very nice pullback out of this here. But I believe, traders, just by looking at the markets here, this is just going to be a very nice, healthy pullback and now what I believe is the start of a very big upward trend. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens through there. GDXJ, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Because I'm actually looking to jump back. I'm looking to add to my position in the GDXJ. I was just waiting for the right time. So we can see here we have resistance here, and then now we actually got, so we have that resistance that we had a bit of a break to the upside and then a breakdown. Let's have a look at this here. So we have, let me bring that trend line down from there to there, but then we also have, there's also another level there, isn't there? Like that level there. But then we also have this level through here as well too. So they're the two main areas I'm watching right now. Again, I'm already in the GDXJ, guys. Have been now for a while, and I'm waiting. This is more of an investing position, and then I'm waiting for a bit of a deep pullback because I'm looking to add more to the GDXJ obviously in my portfolio there. So we're getting a very, very nice pullback. Once we do hold here, traders, once we do hold through here, it may even go a bit lower than that. But once we do hold and we start to develop a bit of sideways range or a bit of a nice higher low, then it's off to the races from there. Same for the SILJ. Again, hit the resistance, and now we're getting a bit of a short-term rejection off that level there. But once again, we've got a very strong. Remember I was talking about before with the S&P 500 when we get this strong buying leg. What we want to see now is we want to see a very weak. We want to see something like this happening, right? We want that weak. What we want now is a very weak, a strong buying leg, a very weak selling leg, and then we should get something like that again out of the markets through there. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, traders. And also the SIL as well too. SIL had a down day as well too. So this actually may be the thing about the SIL, which, as you guys know, I talked about this yesterday. I'm actually in this, but traders, you must understand this. I'm in this with a real small, like less than 1% risk on my total account is actually in the SIL right now. So, it's maybe even like 0.5% risk. Like I was real small risk. So don't be thinking like, oh, well, I've added a massive position to this. No, I want to see if this is actually the bottom. So I'm actually testing it small. And if it's losing trade, then it's just that. It's more of an investing position there. But the big thing that is sort of concerns me is that we're still making these lower highs in the SIL, lower high. This actually could be another lower high through here. So that's the actual danger of looking at the SIL and where I'm at right now with sort of my, again, traders, I must understand this, real small position. If this is a losing trade, which it's not yet, I've still got my stop in place. Then my count's down 0.5%. All right, so it's all about the risk management, right? Because I don't know, I am trying to see if this is going to be a bottom through here, so it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens through here on the SIL. Let's go have a look at the USO, and man, oh man, the USO, or should I say, let's actually look at the oil price. Let me actually bring up the oil price through here. Okay. And the big thing about oil, and you guys know I absolutely nailed it when it comes to, hopefully you guys listen to me when it comes to not jumping in on something that's already made big moves, right? And I hope you can see, right, there's a general theme around all the markets. When the market makes big moves, you don't want to is that oil? Yeah, right. When the market has already made a big parabolic move, you don't want to be getting involved with that, right? Because then you start to get some, like a sharp snapback, like we have, like we're seeing right now in the markets there. So again, traders, that's what's happening with oil through there. Again, a very big parabolic move. All right, everyone's talking about it, and now we're actually getting a very, 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 very sharp snapback. So there's one big theme here around these market traders, and that is if the market is, if you look at a chart and you can see that we've already been going up, and then suddenly we start to do very big moves, just like silver did and gold did, right? If the market has been going up for quite some time in this leg through here, don't be trying to jump in here, because you might be picking the top. Same thing through here, right? Or look at this here, the market goes up and then we have a pullback. The market goes up and then we have a pullback. What you want to try and do is you want to wait for the pullback and then maybe try to jump in on here as it's starting to pick back up. Jump in here as it starts to pick back up. Don't wait for it to go back up and start to jump in on there as well too. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.